comes to the company Rare, what do you think of when it comes to their games? Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Perfect Dark, GoldenEye. But there was one game on the N64 that I found to be one of the best platformers on the console. Not this crap! That game was Donkey Kong 64. So, what made Donkey Kong 64 great besides its good gameplay and controls as well as replayability? The bosses. Now, I decided to construct a top 5 list, but you may be asking, there's more than 5 bosses here. Here's the rules though. No first bosses because there are 2 bosses here that have a second fight with them, with a different character. For this list, I'm only going to use the second battle, not the first. And the final boss does not count because that is an optional final boss at the really end of the day, and you can't really face it in the boss mode. So, with all that said and done, let's start this list. I'm already gonna start this rule already. Dogadon, the second boss fight from this game, was reused later on as a boss in... well, you get the idea. First problem, it's too fucking easy. Oh sure, you do the same strategy you did when you fought him as Diddy Kong, but with Chunky Kong, and he apparently learned some new techniques. And this is why I like the Diddy Kong fight better than with Chunky Kong, because of the second phase. After you hit Dogadon as many times as you did with Diddy Kong, he decides to become cheap and raise the lava. And if that lava goes up too high and overfills the platform, you're fucking dead. What a rip-off! That's so cheap. And speaking of cheap, it's just a cheap gimmick for a boss fight for using Chunky's item. Because, well, the secret barrel, whatever you want to call it. I call it an item. Because his item allows him to grow big. So what? What's so special about it? I don't see anything special about it. And that's why this boss fight isn't fun. So that's why it's this low on the list. And it's hard to believe there was another boss rehash. Whatever. Dogadon. I hope you don't come back in any of the other games. Oh yeah, King Cutout. The boss from that annoying ass castle level. Yeah, the reason this guy is higher than Dogadon is because you only have to fight him once. Dogadon is a repeated boss, but that's not saying much. He still sucks. His difficulty is still cheap because of the fact that King Cutout appears constantly on different sides of the stage. You can lose your Kong easily, and once you lose all 5, you lose. Bullshit! 2. Running from those underwater enemies is annoying. And yes, I know it's called the challenge. But here's the thing. There's a difference between challenge and freaking being cheap. I mean, honestly. Oh, god damn it. Oh, and that laugh. I swear to god. Not since Fawful. Okay, you know what? That's an offense to Fawful. Because at least he has a... at least he's funny. King Cutout is a goddamn joke. But, you know why he's better? I already said that. You only have to fight him once. He's still freaking cheap. And that's why he's number 4. Oh, that's a Jack in the Box. That's not... oh my god, that is so threatening. What's so scary about it? Holy fuck! That's the boss? That's right. At number 3 we have Mad Jack. Yeah, that's really the name. Okay. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who played through this game were probably really shocked that that was the boss. It's a Jack in the Box. How could that be threatening? But, here's the thing. It is a somewhat difficult boss fight, even if you know what you're doing. Because some of the switches can hurt you instead of his. Because that's how you kill the boss. You have to land on these certain switches, and that'll hurt him. But it has to be the correct one. If you don't do it correctly, you get hurt. But unlike number 4 and 5, it's a difficult boss fight somewhat, but it's an old shape, which is a relief. Plus, I like jumping on blocks. Plus, if you fall off, you can easily get back up. You just take an elevator. Plus, it was really fun to play. This is an example of a good boss. Not Dogadon, and not King Cutout. But now there's only 2 spots left, so what could they be? Well, let's find out. Well, there's only 2 spots left, as it's obviously been said. So, who could it be? That's right, number 2 is Armadillo. Yes, although you fight him twice, the second time you fight him though is so much fun. Take lessons, Dogadon! First off, he has more attacks than his first encounter. You can argue, well that's because it's the second time you fight him, obviously he has more attacks. But at least it makes sense with him because he's more difficult than most of the other bosses. As I said before, it's not a difficulty that's cheap. It's very interesting to fight him, and the ironic thing is, you fight him as Donkey Kong, which for those who've played the game already, you know that you played as Donkey Kong to fight Armadillo the first time. Yeah. Why couldn't you fight Dogadon again? I'm still going on that, aren't I? Whatever. But either way, Armadillo is awesome. So now we're getting to the number 1 spot. Let's recap. Number 5, Dogadon. Number 4, King Cutout. Number 3, Mad Jack. Number 2, Armadillo second fight. Let's go. You know, as much as I'd like to have a suspense for this, it's kind of obvious. I said no repeats, so they were already put on the list, and no final boss. So, okay. Number 1 is Pufftross. That's right. One reason he's awesome, he's a freaking pufferfish. Why can't you be awesome, Quillfish? Now, this is kind of interesting because he's a pufferfish. And, well, to defeat him, you just have to ride around in a boat, which is a lot better than platforming in some cases, because in this one you're controlling the boat, kind of like most of the gimmick of the level of the Galleon. But you have to hit the DK symbol, which causes pillars to go up. Once all the pillars are up, they will electrocute him, and you will do this a few more times until he's dead. As it goes on, it gets progressively harder, which is something I enjoy. Which is actually, is what I find kind of funny, is that this guy comes right after Mad Jack. So after something as difficult as that, this one's a walk in the park, but it's not too easy. So, it's also very fun to fight, and an interesting way to fight him, unlike the rest of the bosses where you either hit switches, throw barrels, or punch him. Also, his death is kind of amusing, kind of like some parts of the game, which is why it's one of my favorite platformers, is the humor. Yeah, I didn't play Conker, so yeah. Sorry dude, but I got bigger fish to fry, so yeah. I'm the Manatee Chief, and Pufftross is my favorite boss from Donkey Kong 64.